Welcome everyone. My name is Sonia and I'm part of the product team here at Totoro. I'm joined today by Chloe, who's going to be talking to us a little bit more about the work that we've been doing on seminars. If you've seen some of our other product webinars so far, you'll know that this webinar is part of a series that are designed to show our partners a bit about the work we've been doing on the different products and features so far. The goal is to enable you all to prepare for our upcoming major release and to let you know as much information as possible so you can feel better equipped to inform your subscribers about what's coming up. I'm sure you'll be sharing some of these details with potential customers and current subscribers, but on the whole, we ask that these webinars are designed, we ask that they're kept just to the partner network. So before Chloe gets started, I'll just go through a bit of housekeeping. Questions are all welcome in the comments and we'll be keeping an eye on those as we go. If we can't answer all of the questions today, or if we can't provide a solid response, we'll be able to get them answered after the webinar. This webinar is a recorded session to ensure that all partners are able to access the same information, and we'll be posting a link to the recording within the partner area of the community as well. So with this recording, we'll be opening up a partner discussion forum specifically about this webinar. And some of the questions you asked today might be added to the FAQ pages as well. If you don't already, please subscribe to the product updates forum, as this is the easiest way for all the product managers to speak directly to partners on an ad hoc basis and to engage with all of you. Cool, I'll let you get started, Chloe.
Okay, so for those who don't know me, my name is Chloe Leon and I'm a product manager for the Totoro mobile app. I'm also working on a few other projects within Totoro Learn, and in that capacity today, we'll be discussing some of the improvements that we've added to seminar resources. Of course, we all know that there's a lot to seminars as a module, and we have made a number of changes on this front. Last week, we talked about attendance tracking, and you can catch that recording of the webinar in the community. So let's get stuck into today's scope here. So really what we mean by seminar resources is the resources that are required in order to put on an event or a session, i.e. rooms, trainers, any other kind of assets. This really goes hand in hand with what we talked about last week about being able to track individual sessions, so we're adding more granularity there when it comes to resources too. So what are the common challenges that we have sought to try and solve? We have tried to solve linking individual trainers to events or sessions. We're calling them facilitators, a little bit more about that soon. We want to ensure that you have a more flexible use of rooms, virtual rooms as well. Not all training is face-to-face. It may be a webinar or some other kind of virtual way of training. So we want to ensure that that's a little bit easier. Some more granular capabilities around the creation of these resources. And also, we've just done a little bit of a cleanup on some of the report sources there, along with trying to resolve some UI and UX issues that we know are there for the learner. Okay, so do you have a question?
No.
Okay, so let's just dig into each of these one by one. So first of all, we're looking at trainers or facilitators here. So we've decided to decouple what we're calling somebody who facilitates a session in comparison to the role of trainer within the whole system. And the reason for this is really we first asked ourselves, who are the people who will be facilitating sessions? And really, to me, this is someone who delivers some training, but it might not necessarily be their full-time job. So we wanted to make sure that both of these capabilities, full-time trainers and maybe ad hoc subject matter experts delivering training as well. So they're treated very, very similarly to how assets and rooms were treated, but with a slight change of that here you'll see you can either choose an internal or an external facilitator. An internal facilitator is the ability to link this facilitator to somebody within your system. So this is an internal system user. They don't have to be a trainer role. It could be anybody within the site. An external does not link to a user within the system. So this may be if your subscribers are looking to perhaps bring somebody in from the local fire station to do fire safety training, for instance, and you may use them on a regular basis, so want to put them down on your list of people. Okay, so when you add a facilitator, you can see that you can also now add multiple facilitators per session. So this helps with co-hosting sessions, or where you might need more than one person available during that time. And this just shows you again, actually it's not again, from the event, if you have the right capabilities to do so, you'll be able to create a new facilitator right there and then in the event. So an ad hoc facilitator who can be external, and then if you have the capabilities, also add those people to the site-wide list too. If you're a facilitator, this event should be added to your calendar, and this is what the entry looks like. You can see here it tells them that you are a facilitator on this seminar event session, so they know the difference between seminars they're facilitating and those that they are attending. Lastly, facilitator has been added as a filter for learners and others within the events dashboard. So for all the upcoming and historical events that have happened in the system. So do we have any questions from you guys on facilitators?
No questions have come in so far.
Okay. All right, then let's just continue on to rooms and what we've been able to do there to help you. The long-awaited development to add multiple rooms to a session. So this is only solving the problems associated with things like conjoined rooms, where you have more than one room. That could be, I think it actually says it on the tin, it's conjoined. So you could book out both of them at once, stopping double booking, which was an issue. Breakout rooms, so being able to go out and have multiple rooms there. And multiple locations, perhaps for sharing a webinar or virtual meeting in, with different people in different locations. We have something new here for how the look and feel is reflected within the events table. So where we can, we're trying to make this table look as simple as possible and suit the needs of the organization. So by default now, the room column will just show room name. And then if you need to add that extra granularity, like say for instance, room name and building, you can change that, and this is the display that you'll see down here. Yeah. Okay, so virtual rooms. What we've been able to do since we've just created a field which is fit for purpose as an actual link. So for instance, you can have any of your webinar capabilities, say you have Zoom internally or WebEx or any other kind of virtual classroom software, and simply just placing the link in there to associate it with a room. And when the event comes to take place, about 15 minutes before the event starts, the learners and others who are participants of this event, like the facilitator or an admin, will also see this Join Now button. And by clicking that, it should just open your virtual room. We hope in the future to make a more deep integration, but we just wanted to enable this fit for purpose field for now. Okay, awesome. No questions still?
No.
Okay. Okay, So we've also added some granularity around the capability to create these different types of resources. So for example, you can either manage site-wide and or ad hoc resources. And we've split these up because we know different organizations want a different types of capabilities around this to stop things like double booking when you have many trainers or course creators who are managing these types of things. So you can go as granular or as you like here now. Okay, so we can move on to report sources. One cool thing that we've done, which was a ticket from one of our partners, was to ensure that when an event is cancelled, that the room name or facilitator name stays intact. So what I mean by this is that historically the workflow was you cancel an event and then the associated room was also cancelled from the event, which is fine and still happens, but it was also then removed from reports because it's reporting in real time. However, now if you cancel an event, the room is cancelled, but it leaves the room name within the report source based on which rooms were associated with these sessions when the event was cancelled. It just should give people more ability to track trends of maybe where an event is being cancelled, does it happen regularly, and maybe then they can make changes to fit their organization based on these reports. And so, as I said, this happens with facilitators now too. They behave in the same way. A further thing on reporting is that we are endeavoring to make the seminar reports in line with how seminars are actually working. And just to give you context there, moving from face-to-face plugin to the seminar plugin, some of the reports still reflected some of the face-to-face language. So we've just tried to update that just to make it super clear to administrators which columns that they're picking and what they're actually associated with. Yeah. All right, so we also did some, this is the final section, did some UI and UX adjustments to the admin screens too. So here we have enabled the seminar description to be displayed wherever the seminar is displayed. So whether that's on the course page or some of the other event dashboards too. This wasn't a capability and some people needed it. So we just added that tick box in just like the other activities. Here's my favorite small UX UI type change is that now you're able to hide empty columns within an event seminar by seminar. So what this really enables is less visual clutter on any given page. For instance, if you don't need rooms or facilitators in this case is not shown, and this is where it would be. Another very cool thing about it, I think, is that now event custom fields can be used with different types of seminars. So what I mean here is that if you have two types of custom fields available for your event and you only need to use one of them, then that will be the only one that shows once you've added some details per event there too. And I hope that helps some people out and enable the use of that functionality in more complex sites. For administrators, we have moved the event details from just above where the tabs were into its own tab. A lot of the time, if there are many sessions in an event, or even just 3, you'd have to scroll all the way down every time you wanted to come to this page for to look at your attendees or take attendance or something like that. And we just want to enable a quicker workflow there for people. And again, less visual clutter, the better. here are the learner filters. Last week we showed you all of the filters that were available, but these are the ones that are also available to learners. And I just like on this side the responsive filter too, which is kind of might be easier to use on a mobile device then. So for the user flow, here we have changed this from, other than a link that said sign up, to a button that says go to event. A lot of the time in organizations that I worked with, especially, people knew that this was the key button that people needed to press. And sometimes based on other feedback, some learners would click on the sign up link and then think they'd signed up to this event. So instead, we want to take the users to a different page, go to event, so that they can look at all the details of this and then decide whether they want to sign up. This would be the same page that they come to if they want to cancel their booking as well. So you can see here. And this is also being added to the top of the page, just to give it the action, the importance that it deserves here. And then to show you what it might look like on a mobile device, the sign up is at the very top. And there is a responsive table now at the bottom, so that there is no scrolling at all. This is all the key functionality that I'm going to show you today. So if there's any questions from our small group of attendees, speak now. In the meantime, what we have ready for development to finish off this kind of functionality is that we just need to add a couple of notifications for facilitators to let them know that they've been booked to facilitate something, or something's canceled, etc. And I just want to add a little bit more reporting flexibility in including the event ID within report sources, just to help you guys out with that.
Awesome. Cool.
All right. I guess we might see some more action within the product updates forum. One. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate your participation. Okay, so I guess we've wrapped this up pretty much. And next week, not next week, sorry, in the next webinar, which should be in a couple of weeks' time, Andre will be showing us about the report builder improvements that have been made for 13.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chloe.
What did Ben say?
Cool. So Ben just says the Zoom link was handy. I had a prospect yesterday ask about it. So
Ben, are you using this Evergreen to show current customers and sales?
Well, we'll let Ben says, yeah, but it's not updated to the latest yet.
Okay, cool. Well, I think a lot of this should be in the latest Evergreen. I'm not sure if totally all of it is, but let me know if you need any help. Okay, great. I guess there's not going to be too many more questions. If you do have questions, to anybody who's listening to this recording, please just pop them into the product updates forum, and I'll be very happy to help you with the functionality that we've built so far. Because of course, these are just overviews, and there's lots of little things that have been changed in order to just make this a more powerful module.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Chloe. So yeah, if anyone is listening to the recording, we welcome any questions in the forum as well. And we're also super open to any feedback on any of these webinars as well, because we want to know that they're working for you. And if there's anything we can do to improve, we'd love to be working on that as well. Cool.
Great.
Sweet.
All right.
Thank
See you next
so
time,
much.
guys.
Bye.